watched my I also watched my father kind of walk through a really painful time in his life. I lost him in October, and I was putting on weight. I was stress eating, hormones were everywhere, and so EllieMD landed in my lap. And it has been such a blessing. I knew that my path was going to be health and wellness. I just didn't know what that looked like. And a friend introduced me to EllieMD, and I am telling you, I will never look back. It is the best thing I've done. I've had the most support from a team from Beth down. I cannot sing their praises enough. And I can't wait to see what the next year brings because it's so fantastic.
I love it. I love it. Well, we are 1 minute away, and I would love, Kiki, if you are able to unmute as people are hopping on. I love that, just sharing like really quick stories. And then after Kiki, I'm going to have Jen. Just what drew you to EllieMD, and what are you excited about as your guests hop on tonight that they're going to hear from Kristy, from Jennifer, Talley, from me, and from Dr. Wagner. So, Kiki, are you able to share just 1 quick minute about what makes you excited to be here and what we're doing at EllieMD? I'm not sure if Kiki can. She's got little ones. Okay, we'll move it. We'll wait for Kiki. Jen Nelson, can you unmute and talk about your journey just very quickly with EllieMD?
Well, hi there.
I can always put an MG on the spot.
Of course you can. And I love your glasses, by the way.
Thank you. My husband told me he had these in the 80s.
I know, right? Everything comes back around. So are you wanting
Just
my
want you to share your quick, what
business
makes
journey?
EllieMD a great fit for you? Because we're getting ready to share our slides, and I'm getting those
Oh,
pulled.
I love that. Okay.
I need a newscaster here.
Okay. Well, it is a absolutely perfect fit for me because it has been truly life changing for my health. And it would be absolutely like, I can't not share this with people because of the results that I've had from microdosing GLP-1s and how it's changed my life, my health, my everything, my financial life, and being able to empower so many women to get back into their bodies and be their own wellness advocates and feel like they have empowerment again is the biggest MG satisfaction there is out there.
Yes, thank you, thank you. All right, as you guys know, I was fiddling around with my screen share. I didn't even know I was sharing it. So can you see the slide that says, "Let's talk about the business of EllieMD"? Everyone can see that? Perfect. All right, so we are here tonight. I have the beautiful Kristy Sullivan as my co-host. You want to say hi, Kristy?
Hi, everybody. So excited to be here.
So I love this, you guys. I love to share the story behind. So I walked in and welcome. We're going to talk about the business side of EllieMD. My name is Beth Graves, and I've been a brand partner since July 28th. And I want to just give you the vision of potential here. Is I was not looking, as most people on here, for a business because I didn't even know that I could have a partnership with a telehealth company focusing on regenerative peptides. For me, my story started with the GLP-1. And well, it started way before that. It started with the traditional medical community not listening to what I was saying, what I needed. I was struggling in perimenopause at 45 years old and started to gain weight, started to lose energy, brain fog. They were suggesting antidepressants. I'd say something about, let's talk about my hormones. Why am I gaining all this weight? And I did not ever feel heard. And finally, when I was introduced to my very first introduction into the world of what is a peptide, it was through the GLP-1. And I'll share more of my story as we go. But my mission was, I'm going to take the shame out of women asking questions, having accessibility, and I didn't know how that would look. I didn't even know that EllieMD was a thing when I posted in my stories. I was introduced to Honey Sigari, our CEO and founder, and we're going to talk about this beautiful creation of this business, which feels like home to so many of us. It is home to all of us. And what happened on that day was I made a decision to walk away from a business I had built for a decade to start with EllieMD because I loved the idea that I felt like, hey, I have my own little telehealth franchise, but I also get to learn and grow in the longevity and the regenerative health space, share my story, build community, and give accessibility, because I had searched high and low. I was paying the very first amount of money I paid for my GLP-1 was over $2,000 in a month, because I didn't have, I couldn't get a prescription for it. And I didn't know where to source, where to find, and where to get support. So I also love business. I have built the network marketing, affiliate marketing space for a decade. I know the power of community, and I know the power of giving accessibility to how do you build a business online, offline? How do you do it? What are the tools? There's so many pieces of that. And then my biggest thing here is the community. And I wanted to invite Kristy on because I was a party of one. Our team last month, our team went to almost 1.2 million in orders in the month of May. I started as that party of one. And I'm telling you, if Kristy hadn't walked over and sat down next to me, and I'll get teary, she held my hands. I don't know if you remember this. And she said, "Girlfriend, I've got you. You're in the right place. You've made the right decision. Whatever you need, I am here." She's not even on my team. She's never going to make a dollar. But from that moment on, I felt like I could reach out to her, and I have many times. And when you hear her brilliant side of the business tonight, I think it'll give you a better view of what we're doing here at EllieMD. So let's dive in. We have 4 people ready to come in. We're still popping in. I love it, you guys. 2 more people in the waiting room. We are packing out the room tonight. I was the girl that my parents would go out of town. I'd charge $5 at the door to get into my party, because I was going to make money building community when I was 16 years old. We're doing it in a little bit better way here because we're helping people live longer and healthier lives. But when my Zoom room gets packed out, I feel like the flyers work that we put all over the hiding people's lockers. They're coming to the party. So let's talk about this. So what happens? So EllieMD, it's a vision that our CEO and founder, Hani Zagari, and we're going to speak through. She said, "I'll send you all my messaging, catch it in the vibration," because she's at her best friend's rehearsal dinner tonight. And what Hani envisioned was bringing together a community that educates, that supports, that gives accessibility to longevity, pharmaceutical grade medication. And most of us entered this world, many of you put in the comments tonight if you started with a GLP-1. We saw, when you hear from Dr. Wagner tonight, he's been talking peptides since before the GLP-1 was even a thing. But that was the world in which all of us started to understand, and he will explain why it was so powerful for the obesity epidemic, for perimenopausal, menopausal women, for inflammation. And suddenly we were like, wait a minute. It's not just like the shot that makes me want to stop eating. I'm noticing incredible health benefits, and we can't stop talking about it. So I don't know if you're like me, but I was telling people, go over here, here's this person's name, here's this person's name. But they felt very alone. They didn't have support in the community. And that was what Hani's vision is accessibility. All of us each have 10 to 10,000 friends that we're going to bring into this community and educate and empower, whether it's building a business, getting your self-esteem back, getting your financial situation back with your family, along with getting your health back. And you guys, we had a payday today, and I sat most of the day with tears in my eyes as I received text messages telling me about the debt that's being paid off, about being able to work fewer shifts, about being able to dream again. And that's what this business is doing, because when you feel good, you do good things. So we have a massive growth opportunity here. This number I think is low. The peptide therapeutic market is projected to grow from 17.8 billion in 2022 to 35 billion in 2032. I read a statistic. Dr. Wagner might be like, oh, I don't know about that statistic because he studies this, but 1 in 5 people have been introduced to have been on a GLP-1 peptide. 1 in 5. And if we look at the obesity epidemic and the rising levels of cancer and Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, we're turning away from sick care treating it after it happens, to what can we do for preventative care? And that's what we're all about at EllieMD. I introduced you earlier to our beautiful and incredible founder and CEO. And this is what I want to say about Honey. Listen, she's brilliant. She's visionary. And I've spent many days with her. We were just in Wisconsin. And every time I call this, you guys, you know, in high school when you have your first boyfriend and you literally can't stop writing his name in your notebook, that's how I feel about EllieMD. Is I'm like, I am so in love with this company. You guys were thinking this is getting weird. She's going to say she's writing Honey's name in her notebook. No, I love this woman for what she's creating, the excitement she's creating. And I can't stop. I just can't stop talking about what we're doing at EllieMD because of the stories, because of everything that's happening. Look at this, you guys. Well, first of all, you go to our website and you can read all about Honey. Like her background is brilliant. The reason for being here, we have a beautiful website and when you have the opportunity, which you do on Thursday nights, many one-on-one Zooms, to be in a room and hear the vision, where we are headed, you guys, I can't even wrap my head around. I'm just so excited that we're all here. So it all starts with the stories, you guys. When you are courageous enough to share your story and to put yourself out there and to tell people, when I tell people at 45 years old, I was sitting on my bed with this new haircut that I thought was going to be fashionable, and it wasn't. And I didn't know why I was tired, exhausted, why I wasn't sleeping, why I was gaining weight, why things felt like they weren't working. I needed the reset button on my phone, and going to doctor after doctor after doctor, friends saying it's just the way it is. This is what happens when we start to hit perimenopause. And I spent 10 years feeling like a stranger in my own body. So how was I to go out? Think about vibration. If you know anything about vibration, when my vibration was in like desperation, that's how I parented. That's how I was a wife. That's how I was a friend. On the tennis court, sometimes it was really good because I was like really mean. You like put an overhead up. But the reason I think this business grows so fast for all of us, is because obviously we see the numbers. We've got something that's innovative, that's never, ever, ever been done before in the affiliate network marketing space or in the health space. We've got like people out there, like your own telemedicine company, like, hello, but we're feeling good. So we're in this vibration of love, of joy, of prosperity, of abundance. And we're like I said, you know, when that falling in love feeling, that's how it feels to feel as good as we feel. And to know we're putting our friends, our social media followers, for some people on here that we have people that have 35,000 and more orders just from their social media followers, seeing them post about microdosing GLP-1. For me, I'm still like, you guys, I've been in for a year. My warm market is still saying, thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for the information. So if you think everybody's already heard about what we're doing, they haven't, and they need your story. And these stories that we see on the screen are evidence of it. So I want to introduce to you one story tonight of this beautiful, beautiful woman. Her name is Jennifer Talley, and she's a medical provider. I didn't get her official bio. I just know this. She's brilliant. She's brilliant. She's worked in all different spaces in the medical community. And she's going to share her story about coming to EllieMD, and also from a perspective of, I was just a girl struggling with menopause who loved sales, loved businesses, and loved people. I did not have a medical background. She does. So I'm going to have Jennifer Talley share her story with you.
Well, how do I follow that? Thank you so much. It's beyond an honor to even be on this call tonight. So I will just kind of keep it a little bit more condensed. My story is just like every one of yours, very unique, very impactful, very powerful. But my background is I am a board certified nurse practitioner, and I did work in the sick care model for many, many years. And working in the sick care model, I was also trying to heal my body. And in the same realm as almost every one of y'all, where they say your labs are fine, everything's good. We're just going to give you this medicine and you should feel better. And that was never the case. And so after years of practicing in that realm, I knew that what I went into medical care for was to truly help other people, right? I wanted to heal them. I wanted them to live vibrant lives with vitality and vigor and just to feel better. But in that sick care model, I really wasn't truly able to fulfill that mission that I had. while I was also struggling in that as well. And so I decided that I was going to research and do more, not just for myself, but for my patients, because that's what I was called to do. And so when I delved into the holistic wellness realm, and to start healing my body, I was able to start doing that, but I was also significantly younger. I'm now 43, knocking on 44's door right now. And I started to get certifications in different things in functional and regenerative wellness, and started to actually be able to start prescribing even peptide therapy for my patients. In this time, I became even more sick, had my first kid, got more sick, had my second kid, got more sick. So I'll spare you all the details of all of the things, but I was almost diabetic, had chronic plantar fasciitis, had bad cholesterol, had all of the things. I even developed neuropathy a few years ago and just was so sick. So I was able to help a lot of patients in that realm of having the access to something that was already so unknown at the time of in that regenerative wellness realm of peptides. And what I started to see is not only was it helping them lose weight with the GLP-1s, but I was using NED and glutathione and those things. And I was seeing these patients just go from, I hate to say, even feeble 60, 70, 80-year-olds, even some 30, 40-year-olds, to just their lives being changed. And so I said to myself, well, Jennifer, why are you not doing this for yourself? So I did, and I am glad to say that now I have all normal labs. My inflammatory markers are normal since my 20s. They were never normal. I'm no longer pre-diabetic. My cholesterols are normal. I can walk and do all of the exercise I want without having any pain. My now 7-year-old daughter's in the back seat, and I'm able to just live a vibrant life with her. So how that plays into EllieMD is I was approached by a very dear friend of mine named Ambra, and she said, Jennifer, you need to know what EllieMD is. And I knew if she was involved in this, I had to be a part of it. And so when she brought it to my door, knowing that I had the experience with peptides and just holistic and regenerative wellness, I heard what she had to say, and I said, I have got to be a part of this movement. This is beyond anything I had ever seen in clinics, seen out in the realm of where I live and out in the beyond. And I knew that I had to be able to give this access to everyone I knew, every patient, every friend, every family member. And so this business model gave me a way to share the solutions of what most medical providers as myself are looking for. We're trying to pick up these extra shifts, whether you're an ER nurse, whether you're, a nurse practitioner, or, whether you're a massage therapist. It doesn't matter what you are. You're always trying to make extra money for your kids' dance lessons, to go on vacation, to buy those extra things that just your regular income isn't allowing you to do. And I didn't want to have that burnout of looking for those extra jobs, which is what I was already looking for. So when I started with EllieMD, literally 3 days short of the new year, I saw the benefit because I didn't have to carry inventory. I didn't have to use my medical license. I didn't have to hire a supervising MD. I didn't have to pick up those extra shifts that I knew would take me away from my dear 7-year-old daughter and my 4-year-old son and my family. I could actually create something with vision, with purpose, and just was just so much passion of something that was already healing so many hundreds of patients I've helped in clinic and myself, that also created another form of income for myself and my family. And so I'm glad to even say that back in April, so I was not even 4 full months in, we were able to buy a legacy piece of property that was waterfront here in Charleston on a reservoir with the income I was making. And you guys, that is something that's so beyond anything I could have ever dreamed a year, 2 years ago, especially in my chronic illnesses I had going on. And to have my health completely restored, to no longer basically have any of the medical ailments I had, like my neuropathy is almost 0 now. I mean, come on, like you can't make this stuff up. You dream big, and your dreams became even bigger when they came to reality. And so I would just encourage anyone that's on this call that if your purpose, or even just the things that you're passionate about, is to help people and to help people heal while doing it for yourself, EllieMD is the place. And not only that, like Beth said, this community is contagious. It was something I never knew that I needed. And now I want more and more of it. And I'm just so excited to just absorb every ounce of it every single day and to see just the smile it brings to my face every single day, being on our chats, being on our calls. It's fabulous. So,
Well, Jennifer, thank you. Oh my
yeah.
gosh, thank you.
So,
And
yeah,
I love
come on
you
board,
guys.
everyone.
I threw this at her like 30 minutes ago. I was like, hey, I would love to have a medical provider, and your story is so powerful. We are finding more and more that there's so many, especially in this with the AI age and so many people working from home, they're missing community. And especially missing healthy community, like not going to my house, paying $5 to get in my basement, like community, right? But we get together and we talk wellness. We talk about dreams. We talk about peptide protocols, which we're going to get to soon. But the next person I already gave an introduction of Kristy Sullivan. And what I love about Kristy's story is this is a smart businesswoman. She did not come in like I had this story. I had this before and after. I could be like, this is what I did. And so it was experience and story based. This is a woman who did not need to lose weight and didn't come in with her own peptide story, but she has come in, as you will hear when she introduces herself, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as somebody that really understands what makes smart business sense and how she positioned herself. So Kristy, my sister from another lifetime. I wish I was looking for this picture, you guys. We were on our lifestyle getaway in Punta Cana, and I hear this voice I recognize. There's a pillar between the balconies, and I look over, and there we are, like next door to each other. So sure enough, we put on our eye patches and we talked about business, how we impact, how we make money. And I just am so honored that you're here tonight. So can you share your brilliance about why this makes good business sense? And all of the things I've heard you talk a million times, and I've listened to you over and over again because you make so much sense.
That's too much. How do we talk after Beth? Thank you, Beth, for the beautiful introduction. And I'm honored that I was the very first person besides corporate to walk up to and say, hey, girl, we got this together. That was an awesome introduction. Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Kristy Sullivan. I live in Southern California, so I am way across the pond from Beth. So thank you for having me this evening. And she had a beautiful introduction. I did not qualify for the medication, but I knew a business opportunity when I saw it. So last June 1st, 2024, I joined for the opportunity, you guys. They did not offer microdosing for those of us who had a BMI lower than 28% last June. And I'm like, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to be a professional pointer. I'm going to point people to my link. And it's fine that I don't qualify for the medication at this time. Those of you who are out there right now and you might own one or two businesses, I applaud you for multiple streams of income. I knew that I wanted to help my girlfriends. My girlfriends were getting canceled left and right from their insurance. They finally found a tool that works, and then they're canceled. And like Beth shared, these girls were paying $850, $1,200, $2,000 a month because they didn't know what else they were going to do. So I knew I wanted to help them. I knew I wanted to help my daughter, 27 years old. She's down 35 plus pounds. Guess what, guys out there in the chat? I see you. We see you. I wanted to bring men into this space where they feel comfortable. I wanted to help marriages get back on track with their health. And it's exactly happening. The ladies may start, but I'll tell you what, on week 3, the gentlemen are like, do you think I could do this? So it is exciting to see the chat. Let's just give a big hurrah to all the guys, including Dr. Wagner, who's going to bless us in a few minutes with his words. I wanted to share with you guys, I wanted to keep this short. Let me tell you a few things of why it is so exciting to be here at EllieMD. I've been in the direct sales industry for over 34 years. I started at age 19 with Mary Kay. And these are a few things that will jump at you if you are a comp plan guru out there. So let me tell you about this one. It's a 90-day prescription. It's a 3-month commitment for your customers and your friends out there. You are getting paid every month on every customer. Sometimes that is absolutely unheard of. A company will bless you in month one that you get a customer, but they don't continue to bless you. So we have the opportunity, income disclosure, to make $44 to $92 per person per month. Like that's mind blowing. Let's keep going. We earn commissions on our personal medication. What? Do you know how many companies you have to log in as Aunt Susan and place an order so that you get commission on it? Not here, not here, baby. We can enroll a brand partner who has the same address. How many of us have multi-generational people in our home? Our mom might live with us, our daughter, our son-in-law. So you can enroll your spouse, you can enroll your entire 17 people that live at your address. That is unheard of at other companies. They don't let you bring your spouse or your partner on. This is a big one. This one needs a drum roll. Can we just get a? There is no break. Yeah. There is no breakaway in this comp plan. Let me tell you what that kind of means. You help all these friends and these ladies and gentlemen and these couples, and somewhere down there is a rock star and they just kill it. And you've helped and supported them. In this comp plan, there is no breakaway. You are thanked by EllieMD for bringing them and blessing them, and you've blessed Ellie by that connection. So you are thanked all the time, and there's no breakaway. I have been with multiple companies that have a breakaway. The next one, talk about the word title, brand partner. What did Beth just say? She introduced me. We aren't even in the same organization, you guys. The partnership here is nothing like I've ever been a part of. The sisterhood, the brotherhood, the marriages connecting. Everyone, I seriously almost do write Honey's name in my notebook, like Beth was talking about.
I think I can admit it now.
We have girl crush on our CEO. Like it brings tears to my eyes to listen to her thank the field for following her dream. So I wanted to just touch on the word partner. You're not an associate. You're not a representative. You're a partner with corporate from day one. The website is your doctor and your nurse. The website is your personal assistant. You don't have to know anything. You're a professional pointer. Just point them to the link. Don't stress. And now, oh my gosh, this week our patient portal launched. Any company that has one of those. We're almost finished with my little nuggets. This is a volume-based comp plan. Kristy, I don't understand what that means. I'm new on the call. What does that mean? That means you stay in your own lane, you worry about your own little link, and you do not have to have 17 friends hit director and 14 hit manager and 3 hit senior manager all by the end of the month. You do not have to depend on other people to work for you. Great slide. I'll hit it in 1 second. Today we did get paid, you guys. It was a very emotional day. Did you just hear Jennifer say they bought property? Income disclosure, of course. This is a comma paycheck relationship immediately out the door. It's just incredible. We recently, my last opportunity call that I was asked to speak was right around tax time. And I can't even tell you the tears that came from some of these ladies because we had only been open for 4 or 5 months when it was time to print our W-2s. And when your voice quivers and you walk into your husband or you text your husband or you text your wife and you show her what this small side hustle is doing. Remember, I joined and I couldn't even get on the medication. Now, anyone on the call, if your BMI is under 28%, call whoever invited you to this call and tell her, I'm ready. I want all the yumminess, even though I don't need to lose weight. Let me finish with, you want me to hit that slide real quick, Beth?
Yeah, I love this slide.
Okay, so 10 new customers. In 1 year, you've made $68,310 by adding 10 shot sisters, shot brothers to your organization. 10, you guys. 10 people to help get healthy every month. And look at this compensation. What could your family do with $68,000? It just is absolutely mind blowing. You may be in businesses like, oh my God, are they going to do that 3-3-3 again? No. Everybody needs to get healthy. Look at look at all the stats that Beth shared. So in closing, this is your green light. This is your green light of a complete different opportunity. Telehealth company with a concierge link. That's it. That's how simple it is.
I love it. I love it. You guys, that was gold. Like when you get the recording, just put that into ChatGPT and make yourself a printout so you know how to talk about the business, because that is so true. Before we bring on Dr. Wagner, who's going to talk about like really what is this, is I want to look at what we were talking about PV. We have team commissions up to $3,000 and everything is with income disclaimer. But at the top rank of the company where I sit at advanced executive, I'm making level pay, which if you're a comp plan person, we have tons of videos and trainings on it. And the person that brought you can explain how to maximize that, plus lifestyle bonuses. But what I also love is you are rewarded. Like I envision this company, like it would have been $250,000 for me to buy an IV franchise. And for $29 this month, I have my own franchise. It's a virtual telemedicine. Actually, like it doesn't feel very virtual. It feels like we're very much together, but just on your own personal orders. This is on GLP-1, which is our semaglutide, GLP-1 plus B12. One customer, you're at the 20% mark and you're making $44. That can be your very own order. Once you get to 5,000 PV, you're making 40% commission. And look at with 23 customers, that's $2,024. And what Kristy was saying at Compounds, we have a 91% retention rate because we educate on once you finish your weight loss, move on over to microdosing. Let's talk about some of the other peptides that we have available. It's incredible. And I've always said, oh, I'm not a comp plan girl. Guess what, you guys? I know this comp plan. I know how to work the comp plan because it's so exciting to be able to maximize on the financial side and also just be rewarded for having conversations that really, really matter. So the 20 to 40% on the customer orders, including your own. And then we have a $50 rebate in your first 30 days when you do just $500 of your own personal volume. It's just a little nudge and a push to help you to get going. And when we talked about being a professional pointer, you might be saying, well, I don't know all there is to know about peptides. You guys, we are not here to be this brilliant man that's going to speak. Dr. Wagner, he has come into our community to educate, to empower us with his voice, with the educational series. He's come to in-person events and personally has impacted my life with the education and the questions that we've got this accessibility and someone that cares so deeply. And so we're professional pointers. We point to things like the educational series. We point to the website, which if you have not been to the EllieMD website, you go and spend some time reading about the longevity section, the sexual health section, the GLP, GIP. It's like the best menu and the best restaurant in New York City you'll ever go to. And we have so much more on the way. Maybe Dr. Wagner will touch a little bit on, where we're headed in regenerative health. So Dr. Wagner had a life-changing injury at 16 years old as an elite gymnast and frustration, a back injury. And he set out to educate himself to how can I heal because of his constant chronic pain. He's on a mission to help others reclaim their health and freedom. He's trained in Chinese and Ayurvedic medicine, nutrition, peptide, hormone therapy, and he creates this safe zone to like help us who I truly understand what a peptide is doing in my body and how my body works as like it just feels like I get it now instead of just give myself the shot and see what happens because of this man. He truly has passion. You guys, I sent him a text. He showed up volunteer basis to be here tonight because he wants these small communities to become educated, where he takes ancient wisdom and modern science, and he helps you to unlock your body to heal. So there's a lot of educational series on YouTube and Spotify that you can listen to. But I just want to say how grateful we are, Dr. Josiah, that you're here and that you've allowed all of us to really unlock our body's like individual needs and understand peptides. So I'd love for you to share tonight, and you're going to close us out. So you guys this is such an honor and a treat that when you've met with so many brand partners that are like, we're newbies in this industry, but you've watched us to build a business. How does EllieMD connect the regular person like me, who didn't have any science background, just had a story, to being able to share? Does that question make sense? What's your advice for somebody that's like, well, I'm not Dr. Josiah. How do I do this business?
Well, the good thing is most of the doctors that I talk to don't know what these are either. So you don't have to know it. That's the great thing, is because this, again, this is what really, it's really about the empowerment part. Because just before I answer that question, most people go to their primary, get their lab work done, and they're like, everything's within range, everything's fine. But the patient themselves is like, I'm not fine. Everything doesn't feel right. And they just put you on a medication and then they send you away from there. But, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know when you put something in your body and it starts to work and you start to feel better. So the fact that when you take these peptides, and not only do the primary symptoms start to get better, but overall your whole system starts to work better. Again, you don't have to understand the science and the pathways. All you need to know is that these things are working. And the really only thing that you really need to know is just they're working with your body instead of against your body with a lot of medication. So traditional pharmacology, in a way, the way that it's structured is most of these pharmaceuticals are synthetic molecules that either block or force a pathway into the body. So it's either like forcing inflammation, but it's causing all these other downstream effects, or it's like inhibiting an enzyme. So this is where you end up with a lot of side effects. So for example, you start on cholesterol medication, then the next thing you're taking blood pressure medication, then you're taking something for, ED medication, and that just like continues. And in the peptide space, yeah, people start taking more peptides, but they're like getting better and better and better, because these are really little magic molecules that help improve the whole system within the body. And it's really something that the body recognizes and knows what to do with. So in terms of what EllieMD is doing compared to other like telehealth companies that I see, it's more of a transaction. They're like, this is a cost, here's the medication, good luck. EllieMD is very different because they're very like education forward as well as community forward. And when you have both those components, the education from the doctors and also the personal experience from the end patient, you have way better success. So it doesn't become a transaction, it becomes more of a transformation. And you're transforming not only the physical health, but the mental, the spiritual, the social. We're really tapping on all those issues within the community aspect of EllieMD.
Amazing. Okay, so if somebody is looking and they're saying, like, where do I start? So what is the very first peptide that they're just thinking, I want to start working on my health. I've got, some inflammation, maybe 12, 15 pounds to lose. A man that is like not feeling as, let's talk about men, because we've talked a lot about women on this call, and there's a lot of men that are just like, same thing. Can men be menopausal? Like in those years, right? So where would you start? You have
I mean, even though like the women's hormone system is a lot more complex and a lot more delicate, we're a mess right now. I tell you, I see so many men in my practice, like every age, anywhere from like 20 to 60. And I'm seeing guys in their 20s with testosterone levels that are tanked, and prolactin levels that are off the chart, and liver enzyme levels and GGT levels that are beyond what I can comprehend sometimes. And it's just sad because the Western medical system does not really have an answer for these patients. It's more, again, the symptom management. It doesn't really help restore a man's, I want to say, like, sense of manlyhood, because it's, as a guy, it's like kind of shameful to talk about these things. Like, you don't talk about these things to like the whole house is on fire. Like, these things have been going on for a long time within most guys, but they don't share because they feel like, one, I just got to tough it out and deal with this. I don't need to show any sign of weakness. And this stuff really doesn't work. But one thing that I do talk about with my male patients is when we do fix a lot of these underlying issues going on, whether it's inflammation, low testosterone, balance your hormones, get the inflammation down, fix the metabolic disruption, you're able to show up more for your family. Like you're able to carry more weight, more stress. You're able to carry more of like that masculine presence, that peace. You're able to like shift your environment. So it actually like enhances everything else that you're able to do. So in terms of where someone should start, it's my favorite phrase to say, it depends.
Oh,
And
we're getting shirts. It depends.
I'll chart out a couple examples. I'll chart out a couple examples for you real quick. All right.
Oh, I love we get the whiteboard tonight. I love it.
Yeah. So I'll get this here. All right. So it just, again, I'm just gonna say depends again. I gotta expand my vocabulary. So a lot of times, most patients where we see them or where we want to start them at is a couple issues going on. We got either like inflammation. We have either like a hormone issue. So we'll say like low T for guys, or we have like a chronic injury. So these are going to be like your three main patients for guys, and then let's say like metabolic. Everyone suffers from metabolic. When I'm talking about metabolic, I'm talking about insulin. Here. All right. So we got these three categories. So it just depends on where everyone's starting at in this one. So if we have inflammation, two peptides that we can start out first is your GLP-1, GIP, and we can also start with that BPC 157, TV 500. All right, that will deal with this right here. Hormone issue. What one I'm going to use for that one is typically like a Somorelin, which is a growth hormone secretagogue. So it helps with the release of growth hormone. But there's usually typically like two components to the hormones. So I will either add, and you can do either one. You can do the GLP or that BPC stack. Both of those have enough spillover to help that hormone case right there for guys. Chronic injury, easy. BPC combo, TV 500. If you want to add a little extra juice to that, then I pair it with the GHK CU. And then metabolism. This one's pretty easy. GLP plus your Somorelin. So these are kind of like how I would pair these ones together. Are there any ones specifically that you want me to go into a little bit of detail about?
Well, you know what? We just had Todd Cahill say this Zoom is amazing. So Todd, I'm going to open it up to you to ask some questions.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Perfect.
Well, first of all, it's amazing. And I've been a health nut my whole life, a triathlon, Ironman, Division I athlete, and I'm 44 now. I'm on the GLP-1. I was wondering if you just talk about belly fat, because all the dudes on the call too, and of course women have this, but I have like a 5.5 pack. And how do you doing the abs, doing the exercise, weightlifting, I get all that. But is there anything that, is it the Somorelin? Is it more like, what is the number one thing that we market that can really help the lower abdomen, kind of getting into movie star shape? I know not everyone cares about that, but that's kind of my focus. I'm prepared for a movie role and everything like that. This summer I go film. So just losing that last 5 pounds in your 40s, what would be your recommendation?
So I'll do like a 2-prong approach. The way I would deal with that right there with the belly fat is, so let's do belly fat protocol.
And is this like male driven or women that are at their ideal weight and looking?
Peptides, and they're not gender specific. So this
Okay.
can be or female issue. But again, it depends on why the women have the belly fat. Because remember, like your hormone ratio decides where your body is going to store fat. If you're more estrogen dominant, you store it in certain areas. If you're more progesterone dominant, you store it in other areas. So it's really about understanding which hormones affect each place in the body. The body is not random. The body is very specific. So when you
Okay.
have certain dominating hormones, your body is going to store it in certain areas. But this is a very like universal thing. So you're on the GLP already. You won. So
We're
then
gonna call this protocol Todd's abs.
uh,
Okay, Todd.
Well, right. Yeah. Thanks.
so then the first one that I would do with that is I would pair it with the Samorlin. And then if you really wanted to juice it up, I would pair it with the BPC TV500. Now the reason I pair it with that one, so you have Samorlin that's going to help the production of growth hormone from the anterior pituitary gland. The limiting factor, Todd, is when your body is producing more growth hormone, if you have a down regulation in the receptors, it slows down how much it creates a limit on how much your body can use. So think of like a parking lot and you have limited spots. Like you're going to the mall, you're trying to get there, it's like Christmas, you're trying to get the gift or whatever, and there's barely any spots there. That's the same way that the growth hormone works with the receptors. But if you add BPC 157, it's like building a whole new parking lot. So it increases the amount of growth hormone receptors, so it amplifies the Samorlin effect. So it's going to amplify that growth hormone effect right there.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's really good. I really appreciate that.
So, but then just like a caveat though, is what I would do is depending on how much belly fat you have there, you're going to have to cycle this a few times because you're not going to get it all in one shot because your body's not going to release all of it. So what I would do is I would do the Samorlin for 12 weeks, followed by glutathione. And what else? What else do you guys have? GHKC. All right. So now the reason that I'm doing that is because as you're losing fat, you want to help the elasticity of the skin and help the skin tighten as well too. Because if you help with that extra skin in terms of like the collagen tightness, it's going to make it not look so bulgy as well too. So glutathione is great for skin glow as well as like the look of the skin. And then the GHKCU helps with that collagen production and tighten up the skin.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool.
I would switch back and forth between those. Obviously, like proper training, proper dieting, proper exercise. Yeah. Those are the things. But in terms of like peptide stacks, that's how I'd kind of like switch those ones back and forth.
Good.
The ones that I would love to talk about, but we don't have them released yet. Those are other ones.
Yeah, the sneak peek that I got is we're gonna all be getting some movie star abs, Todd.
Well, and again, like one thing I want to mention too is everything that I'm talking about now, there are so many peptides that are under research right now that are coming out that all these peptides right here are probably going to be obsolete within the next 3 years because we have better versions of them. So for example, you have the GLP right now, and then you have the GLP plus the GIP. We already have a 5-stage agonist that actually, it's really crazy. So physiologically, when you're in a calorie deficit state, you cannot build muscle. Physiologically, it is impossible. However, there is literally a peptide, a 5-stage agonist that is in research right now that you can be in a calorie deficit state, lose fat, and actually build muscle. Like it's like this stuff is so crazy right now. So
I feel like we need a podcast with you.
Nice is EllieMD is always on the forefront of bringing these newer peptides to market. So they're always trying to be first to bringing them to market, so they're not going to get left behind as things are developing. that's the trouble I have with either some of these clinics or some of these pharmacies. And I'm like, hey guys, there's these 40 other peptides that we need to start doing. And some of them are just like dragging their feet to, one, start compounding them, or two, to start using them. But like EllieMD is like, what can we do to like make this better? So like I really appreciate that from the community aspect, that they're always trying to bring the latest and greatest to the community.
Thank you. And so you guys, you're getting an example right now of once you get in this space, you popped on thinking, oh, this might be an interesting business. And now your brain is like, wow, how good can it get?
Just
How good can it get?
in terms of like how good you're going to feel in the longevity aspect. And again, what is nice about peptides is, again, they're not gender specific, they're not age specific. They have so many spillovers into so many systems. For example, I've worked with a patient who had chronic hip pain, but not only did the peptide help his hip pain, but it helped with the arthritis in his hand as well too. So people are seeing so many spillover benefits from these things that it's just like, it's really, really incredible.
So if we had one question, and you guys, I promise, thank you. Like, for everybody's just like, my phone is blowing up. So thank you so much. Let me ask you this. Somebody is saying they need to ask their primary care physician for a blood panel to look at this. So if somebody we work with our primary care physicians, and because EllieMD provides the peptides. And so it will always say, have you talked to your primary care physician? And I know mine is not, she's amazing, but she's not up to date on this. So what would you be asking for if somebody wants a blood panel?
I mean, a good blood panel that you can see affect the peptides is, your CBC, your CMP, your lipids. Lipids are really great. Your A1C. Make sure you look at your liver enzymes like your AST, ALT, but then also your GGT. Because more the AST and ALT has to do with more acute, and the GGT has to deal with more chronic. So those AST and ALT could be fine, but the GGT, that picks up more of like that fatty liver. So you want to look at that as well too. So those are some of the best biomarkers that I look at. Because I mean, I've seen guys go from like A1C of 7.4 to 6.2 in 8 weeks on just like the peptides.
It's incredible. So as someone who, like, this is your world, I mean, you eat, drink, sleep, live this world. So and now I am, because it's just, I can't get enough of it. So do you have a resource, a book, something that you would suggest a beginner that wants to start learning? And I want to remind you guys, this is a business opportunity, and we've gone into, like, which I love that we're getting here, is you don't have to have the knowledge that Dr. J has. What it is inviting to opportunities like this, to be in the room and to have those conversations. Point to the website. And I have, somebody said the complete peptide guide by Hacksmith, Esther's. Okay. So yeah, give us some suggestions, because along with building this business, I've been able to, we as brand partners, we don't make the suggestions, but I love all of my clients are wanting to know more and be educated. So what would you suggest?
So in terms of someone who has like a well balance between the science, but then also the communication to the like base end user who might not have any of the science education, there's Dr. Seed is really great. And he was actually interviewed on a podcast called Mind Pump Media. So he was interviewed on them, like, it's a fitness podcast. He was on there probably 2 times. I would listen to both of those by Dr. Seed. That's a good place for somewhere to start, where they can get a little bit of science, but also like in a very practical, understandable way. It doesn't get like too over your head. Even though if you listen to Dr. Seed by himself or read his books, it's pretty science heavy.
There's a Mind Pump podcast for those people looking at microdosing that Dr. Tina was on. That was one of the first podcasts. So we have a lot of great podcasts. Great. Okay. So Jennifer we've got some questions. We're not going to go into some of the questions on health conditions, but somebody asked about insurance. You guys, we are your insurance cannot cover this, but HSA can. So get with a brand partner that puts you on, or if you have questions and you are a brand partner, go into some of your chats, or you can email support at EllieMD for those questions on the coverage, and all that information is on the website. So what are you most excited about? This will be our last question. What are you most excited about with the future of what you see coming for EllieMD?
Me?
You, because I
Okay.
know that you get to
Well,
have a lot of conversations in your
I
consultant.
mean, for me, what this creates a double pressure vacuum for me, because again, a lot of my time is spent educating doctors and physicians how to build these types of protocols and how to troubleshoot with patients. What I really like about this is I'm educating the masses on a rapid basis, because we could have like the best treatment, but if the end user doesn't know about it, it does us no good. So this creates a rapid way to get the message out to so many people. And then because you guys get excited and there's an opportunity here, you guys are going to spread that message even more. So it's like I'm duplicating myself times 100 every time I hop on one of these calls. And my time is limited. I'm trying to have the deepest and greatest amount of impact that I can have before I leave this earth. And I feel like this is definitely like a way and a platform in order to apply that.
Oh my gosh, you are a gift to us. Thank you. And okay, I said one question, but those of you that know me know I can't stop with one question. This is it. This is the last question. When you look at what you've watched develop, if somebody's on here tonight and they're like, well, what would it mean for me to build a business with EllieMD? If I was your friend, your high school friend, and I reached out to you and I said, Dr. J, this woman named Kristy reached out to me about this business of EllieMD. I know you're in that space. What would you tell me as your friend who's just a laywoman in this world about becoming a brand partner?
I mean, there's multiple reasons and benefits from being able to do this. Is one, again, peptides are not going away, and peptides are continuing to evolve. So you can either be attracted to the potential to help give people another option, rather than what Western medicine has been able to offer people, something that actually works, or you could be attracted to the sense of being able to build a business and have your own financial freedom. So I mean, to be able to be compensated appropriately for being able to help people, like that's like a double win-win right there. And again, everyone I've met in the community is so giving and so caring and just supportive of each other and just really wants to help each other win. So I mean, those are to me are some of the best things that I see.
Oh, thank you so much. So again, thank you for your time and impact you are making. I think that everyone on here is learning so much about, like, we're just getting started in our own personal education with EllieMD and where we're headed with regenerative peptides. So in closing, everyone tonight, obviously EllieMD is a smart business, whether you want to do it like I've done it, where it's daily. I'm treating this business like a business. I'm building it like a business for massive impact. Or it's something that you're like, hey, you know what? I just want to like learn for myself, share with my friends, take my kids to Disney World, or put some money away in a retirement fund or something like that. Every level of what you want, it is your business. And we're just here to support that. And along with building a business, you're building health, knowledge, and being at the forefront of education for your own personal longevity, because it doesn't matter how much money we make. It doesn't matter how many businesses we start. If we are not around feeling our best in optimal health in mind, body, and spirit, then it's not even an option. Like, be here, find joy, and feel your absolute best. And that's what we do at EllieMD. So thanks so much for everyone for hopping on. I'll have the recording for all of you. Thank you, Kristy, for being our guest tonight, and Jennifer, and Dr. J. Again, I'm sure I'll see you soon.
Well, sure. I'll see you soon, Joy.
Thank you,
Bye,
Beth.
guys.
Thank you, Doctor.